The Spirit of the Cracker Packers exhibition is a display organised by staff at Tully House. It showcases the stories of the women who inspired the creation of the sculpture outside of McVitie's factory in Carlisle.
The Cracker Packers is the now sort of affectionate name that's given to the female workforce at Cars and now McVitie's Biscuit Works. So this is an exhibition that we put together last year in commemoration of the Cracker Packer statue that was unveiled in March last year. And it was really to broaden out the stories of the Cracker Packers, so who the Cracker Packers were, and really to share their stories and celebrate the women who worked there. Women have worked there almost since Cars was open, from about the 1850s onwards, and they did all kinds of work to help with the preparation of the biscuits and send them out to the world.
The Cars Biscuit Factory was the largest employer of women at the time in Carlisle, and organisers believe that this is why it represents an important period for females in the city.
I guess the reason why it was significant is because not only was it the largest employer, they were also one of the best paid in the city. Also, it was about the opportunities that it gave to these women. So these were financial, obviously, so they were able to support their family, but also they were sort of social as well, perhaps more significantly. You can imagine many women at that time would be stuck at home with their families, which is great for some, but for other women, perhaps they missed out on that friendship and that camaraderie. And that's something that came across really strongly when I was talking to some of the women who used to work there.
As a part of relatively recent history, the legacy of the Cracker Packers and the women they worked with is still remembered by their relatives.
Lived in Standings for about 50 years, and at one time my wife worked for Carlisle Biscuit Works in the offices. But I wish she was here to tell me just where she was involved exactly, and the length of time. It seems so long ago now. It's been recommended for, digging up the past, and when you have connections like that, those are times. I mean, who didn't work here in Carlisle? The town itself has grown so much. It has, out of all proportion.
Organisers say that while remembering this specific story is important, it is only the start of how we should examine women's roles in history.
It's important that we remember the Cracker Packers, not necessarily just the Cracker Packers, but all female workers, in the fact that actually women were instrumental to the success of these big firms in Carlisle. And in conventional histories, their stories are largely forgotten. We remember the men who set them up, but actually not the people who actually kept them running and kept them going sort of day in, day out.
With their statues standing proud outside the factory they supported, and an exhibition dedicated to their legacy, the memory of the Cracker Packers will remain for many years to come. Ciara McFadgen, That's TV.